So I realized I still don't really know what a wig is, so I started reading. Because it's the last one. All right. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was a good clap. That was
I
a
could
better
hear it.
clap than I've done
Yeah,
before.
We're learning how to clap.
We're learning. I didn't think I thought I knew how to, but I've learned that I don't. Until today. Hello.
Hello,
Huh?
and welcome.
Hello. That was so somber, but radio voicey.
I thought I'd change it up a bit. I don't want to typecast myself into a yeller.
Hello and welcome to the
Hello.
Museum of Natural History. Today we
Today.
are learning.
About Millard Fillmore,
Oh, yes.
the
Is
one
he-
president who looks like, what's his face?
A
Alec
Muppet.
Baldwin. Alec
Alec
Baldwin.
Baldwin. Yes. R.I.P.
Uh,
Alec Baldwin.
Oh, actually, do you know what? This guy was the last wig. Rip the wigs.
Rip the wigs, which
Rip the wigs.
we
We barely knew-
are gonna learn
We barely
about the
even
wigs
knew
today.
what they were. Maybe like I realized. I realized when reading, I'm like, okay, well, this is the last wig, Millard Fillmore. So it's our last chance to learn what a wig is. And I'm not saying I know what a wig is, but I'm saying that I think we had them wrong.
Oh,
Because you said they were pro-slavery, right?
that's what I thought.
Yeah, but apparently they weren't all pro-slavery. Like they were
Oh.
divided. They were divided, and
Amongst
that's kind of
themselves?
yeah. Like there was the northern Whigs and the southern Whigs, and I think slavery. The reason I realized I didn't know what we were talking about was because that's what like kind of tore them apart was slavery. I guess in the end,
Got
their
it.
disagreements upon it.
Okay. But I mean, that makes sense because it was like I guess it was the Southern Whigs that were pissed off at the general.
Northern Whigs. Yeah. And Millard Fillmore kind of is the one who destroyed the Whig Party through his actions, which I'll get to later.
Oh.
He didn't.
Intentionally?
No, I think he was just trying to keep the peace, but he kind of like things are starting to get tense. A civil war is coming, as we all know and are ready for. The interesting thing about this guy is he didn't die before the Civil War, so we have like the thing is he kind of like we'll get into it later, but he wasn't looked upon favorably in the end, I don't think.
Because he was Zachary Taylor's vice president and then filled his role when Zachary died. Yeah.
Yep, after a year in office. So he had about 3 years in office. But perhaps I'll start at the very beginning. Just a wee Millard,
The best place to
born into
start.
poverty. Unlike most presidents, he was born poor. He was born in upstate New York. He lived frequently in Buffalo in his life, and Buffalo, New York. And he was elected as the 12th vice president and the 13th president. So once Zachary Taylor ate his cherries and milk, as the story goes, and that
Yeah.
apparently kills you.
Yep.
Millard
too
Fillmore
much for his
stepped
stomach.
in. Yeah, surely that's not how he died.
Well, I think he had dysentery, so I mean, you can get it from water or a
Milk,
food source, so it could have been rotten cherries, but I don't think it was that specifically.
What a way to go! Going out in style, at least. So to summarize his presidency, he didn't do too much. Like, in his 3 years, he was instrumental in passing the Compromise of 1850, which is kind of a little truce between the North and the South, over the battle of the expansion of slavery. But I think that what he like decided ultimately in that Compromise of 1850 is what tore the Whigs apart. Because we've mentioned it before, but just I forget what it's called. It's like when slaves escape to the north, then they have to enforce.
Right, there was a law. Yeah.
Yeah.
That the North was meant to turn them in and like basically bring them back down south.
Yeah, it was called the Fugitive Slave Act, and basically they're saying, "Hey, you Northerners are a little too chill with breaking these rules that we've set." So they kind of made this thing to reinforce them, and a lot of the Northern Whigs were unhappy with his stance on passing it, which I think ultimately helped lead to the Civil War.
Yeah, because I think there was a lot of people up north who were just like, I don't know, the term I came to my head was like turning a blind eye, but they just weren't like, they were like, I don't know where that person went. I guess they're gone forever. It's like, if I didn't know that they escaped, then I don't have to follow the rules.
Yeah, there's actually this really cool poster that they had on Wikipedia. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, I'll read it. Okay, so...
Like a propaganda, like, sketch poster?
Yeah, it's like a sign that I'm assuming they put up back then. It says, "Caution, colored people of Boston, one and all. You are hereby respectfully cautioned and advised to avoid conversing with the watchmen and police officers of Boston. For since the recent order of the mayor and aldermen, they are empowering to act as kidnappers and slave catchers, and they have already been actually employed in kidnapping, catching, and keeping slaves. Therefore, if you value your liberty and the welfare of the fugitives among you, shun them in every possible manner as so many hounds of the track of the most unfortunate of your race. Keep a sharp lookout for kidnappers and have a top eye open. April 24th, 1851. Wow. It's kind of like a fuck the police kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the original ACAB.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Click, click, click. Nothing was happening in there. One interesting... I'm just going off on a tangent, but in September 1850, Fillmore appointed the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints leader Brigham Young as the first governor of the Utah territory. So, if anyone's familiar with Mormonism, or perhaps the Broadway musical Book of Mormon, Brigham Young, that was a time when he was kicking around.
Have you ever, and this is now I'm going off on a tangent, have you ever watched or seen the YouTube dating show? It's I forget what it's called, but it's basically like The Bachelor, but for Mormons.
Do they have to wear their special underwear?
Well, I mean, they're they're like in college, so I don't know. But it's basically like a like young adult run like YouTube series where they're all from I think 2 or 3 different colleges or universities, and they're all Mormon, and they're all there on this like dating show, but it's like super awkward because they aren't like, I don't know, they're just not well spoken, and it's just like this weird, and there's a lot of drama involved because like this girl dated this girl's brother, and then like they all just date each other because they're all just in the Mormon faith together.
Right. I wonder how many Mormons there are these days.
There's
still pretty common. Yeah, mostly of them in Utah.
That they do baptisms. They do like volunteer and like a baptist. So like you can be a proxy baptizee. So it's like you can go and it's like, really? Hi, I'm James and I live on the other side of the world, but I'd like to be baptized as a Mormon. They'll have people stand in and they'll just do like mass baptisms, like on camera, which is like one person being dunked, but they're like, all right, this person's going to be your vessel for you to be baptized.
Interesting.
It's wild.
So I could get baptized.
You could get
online.
Baptized, but not have to be there. Yeah.
You never know. What if they're right, Dutch? What if we all get a planet when we die?
I mean, hey, I know what? All souls are damned, so you never know.
Wait, is Mormonism the one where there's like a finite number of people who can get into heaven?
That I don't know. See, now we're getting into I wish I'd taken more religion courses.
Yeah,
That
I
I
don't
don't
think they
know.
covered Mormonism in my.
Because Mormon is a relatively new religion. Relatively, I mean, compared to the others.
Maybe there's one I can't say for sure, but um, there's one religion where there's only so many seats in heaven, and I'm not liking my odds personally as someone who.
That's okay. I mean, I'll be in hell, so you can come hang out with me.
Okay, yeah, we can make a podcast in hell.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just
My
talk
favorite hell.
Yeah, my favorite archdemon.
Yeah, my favorite torture device.
Perfect, exactly. But hey, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like, maybe it's just chill down there. Maybe there's just no judgment. You're just like hanging out
Yeah.
in a different realm. Who knows?
I never really got hell. Like, I guess that's
It's just a scare tactic.
yeah. They never really go into it. Like, what's so bad about it?
All right.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Isn't heaven just a place we make? All right, back to Millard.
I like how you instantly regretted saying that. That's great.
Okay, so
Millard.
Fillmore, anti-Mason. I'm trying to get into the story of it. Let's see here. So he was born. He was born in a region called Finger Lakes region of New York. I said he was in Buffalo, but he moved there later. He was he was born kind of into poverty. He didn't grow up very rich, and I think if I remember, he became a lawyer. Okay, wait. Let me see here. He
became a lawyer.
Okay, yeah. I just need to remember. Yeah.
Well,
he was.
You read.
So he was apprenticed as a cloth maker. Before he was as he was like in his young age, and then he really liked to read because he was working at a mill in New Hope, and he bought a share in a circulating library. And I'm not sure what a circulating library is.
I picture it like the Austin Powers bed that rotates, but it's a library.
Yeah, and then you can read sexily whilst spinning around. It's probably just like a library that shares books with other libraries. I bet.
It was a circular library?
Circulating library. Circulating libraries.
Oh, like to circulate. Got it. Not circular. Lol.
Yeah. I'm guessing like it's just the books were the things that were circulating.
Who was just in a book club?
Yeah.
Library. Click, click, clack. Circulating library. A circulating library lent books to subscribers and was first and foremost a business venture. The intention was to profit from lending books to the public for a fee. So it was like
a library
Blockbuster.
You have to pay for. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Blockbuster, but books.
Fair enough. Cool.
Which you should always donate to your local library.
Mm-hmm. Blockbuster books? You should rent movies and then donate them to the library.
Yeah. Yeah. Though I don't know. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to find a Blockbuster these days.
True. There's only one left, I heard.
Also, we're leaking information as we say that, because I think Blockbuster's only one place.
Yeah, but we're not at the
Right, we just know about it. Got
it. We're leaking what planet we're on.
Right.
We're leaking that we're in the universe where Blockbuster has shut down.
Exactly. We're from Uranus.
Yeah. We're from Dimension 787. So he was working at the mill and he'd be reading his books because he didn't work very hard at the mill. And then he took some time to enroll at something that's called a new academy where he met his first wife, Abigail
Aw.
Fillmore. And then they moved.
That's not her name though. That's
Sorry, Abigail Powers. Yeah, it was his sister.
Powers,
No,
right.
I'm just kidding.
for a minute I thought he took her last name, and I was like, "Pop off, King."
That would have been cool if he did take his last name, because her last name was Powers. It would have been Millard Powers.
Power.
Cool name.
Power couple.
Yeah, so they moved to a place called Montville, and he kind of took up law, and he started to become a lawyer, but he wasn't because he was poor, I guess. He wasn't. He kind of had to like find his own path to becoming, like, because not every state, I think, from my memory, would let you be a lawyer unless you had passed the bar.
Right, certain accolades.
Yeah, so he kind of like found little loopholes where he could practice law without having a license.
So he's like the American. He's the Better Call Saul of the presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he eventually did. He was admitted to the bar.
Or what was that TV show where the guy faked having his like license and like got into a lawyer job? Suits.
I thought you were talking about Catch Me If You Can, but he wasn't a lawyer then.
That was a doctor.
Yeah, and
then a pilot. Yeah,
And what was
that's
the
a
third
wild
thing?
story. Maybe a lawyer. It was a doctor pilot, but I don't know what else he did. Or maybe he might have started as like a salesman.
There was a third thing. What was it? Doctor, pilot.
Candlestick maker. No. Wait, wrong rhyme.
An artist.
An artist. Wild.
Let me see. There was three. I'm sure of it.
It always comes in threes. I guess our homework is to watch Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, Frank Abagnale Jr. Whatever. Who cares? He also forged a bunch of checks. So.
He also forged checks, yes.
That was his big business. So then he became a politician in Buffalo. Next thing you know, he has a career in politics. I'm surprised how little I remember. I mustn't have been on my game today. Oh, he was kind of like a boring president. Like, he didn't do much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, too, he came in as the vice president and, you know, probably didn't have the full credentials.
Mm-hmm. Like, Zachary Taylor apparently didn't even know him like that well. He was just kind of, like, placed in the spot of vice president. But next thing you know, he dies, Zachary Taylor, and then he becomes president.
Yep, he ate some cherries, and then now he's a president.
Yeah, so the one thing he did was pass that thing.
Bar?
No, he passed that bill of about.
Oh, right. To force.
Because they were trying to figure out which. Let's see which states it was.
I do enjoy that Millard was born like right on the year 1800, so it just makes guessing his age or figuring out his age that much easier.
Oh, true. I guess he would have been 50 when he was president.
Yeah.
So when he was president, he basically did that one thing. There was and he, like, the Whigs kind of were, he passed that thing with the good Lord, I'm not on my game tonight. Hey, you want to do a quick tangent with me?
Wake up.
What's
wake up.
Tell me something about yourself that leaks zero information.
That leaks zero information?
Yeah.
I just bought a suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
And it's orange.
You go on a trip somewhere, Dutch?
Well, I'm headed on a kind of friend gathering getaway this weekend.
Cool.
And in November, One of my friends is getting married, and they're getting married in Mexico. So I'm headed end of the year to Mexico. So I upgraded my travel suitcase, and it has a front flap to store electronics, and it's got a fancy zipper lock. Yeah, like a laptop. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be my like I have a big suitcase, and then I have like a tiny suitcase, but I need like somewhere in between. Because what was happening was I was stuffing my like super tiny one, and it was like about to burst. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I don't want to bring my huge suitcase, so I got just like a little bit of a bigger one.
You got a just right suitcase.
So that's my update. That leaks zero information except for where I'll be at the end of this year. But I didn't say a month.
You're going to a wedding?
To a wedding, yeah.
Is this a wedding that restores your faith in marriage?
Maybe. Here's the thing.
Depends if the bar's open.
Let me clear something up here. I believe in other people's love. Right. I just don't agree with it for myself.
I see.
Yeah. Let's set that record straight there, Deep Throat. Don't be causing turmoil.
Don't be starting rumors.
Don't be starting rumors. I love weddings. I just don't like.
Weddings
I want to be my
fun.
wedding. Yeah, weddings are great.
Okay, let me tell you about something called the Know Nothing Party.
Okie dokie.
It's okay, so once the Whigs kind of split up after he was done being president, they were kind of like, oh shit, the Whigs are over. What's next for us racists? And then they started a party called the Know Nothing Party. Where the first rule is the first rule of Know Nothing Party is you don't talk about Know Nothing Party.
It's Fight Club. Because
you know nothing.
Interesting.
And apparently they nominated Fillmore while he... Okay, so after... Okay, I skipped a part. So after he was done being president, and the next president is... Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce. So on Franklin Pierce's inauguration, as happens on inaugurations, apparently, is his wife caught a cold and died.
Man,
and so
he need to get warmer clothes, man. That's like
I know.
Like,
or have the inaugurations indoors or stop having them in March.
They still have them outside to this day.
Yeah, I know.
We got that famous photo of Bernie Sanders
with his mitts.
And needs to sleep on a chair.
They gotta get some Bernie Sanders mitts to keep them alive.
Yeah, the little hot pads, the ones you'll shake and they come warm.
And so because he wasn't very rich before he was president, he wasn't very rich after he was president, and so he kind of just lived off his savings simply, while he mourned the loss of his wife. And then, even worse, his daughter died a year later. She died from that thing I can never pronounce. Cholera.
Cholera?
Yeah.
It's cholera.
As it cholera. Cholera?
Cholera.
Cholera.
It's like collar. Yeah.
Cholera.
Cholera.
She probably was eating some bad cherries and milk. And
so far what I've learned, don't drink dairy or eat cherries. Don't eat things together that rhyme.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
I'm trying to think of two other rhymes. Peas and bees. Don't eat peas and bees.
And seeds.
Peas and seeds.
Nuh-uh.
Okay, so and then this is classic solution to losing your kid and your wife. He went on a Euro trip, and he traveled Europe. And then the reason I'm saying this is because while he was traveling in Europe, he met the Queen, and she said that he was the best-looking man she's ever seen in his life. It was Queen. Who would have been the Queen at the time?
Victoria?
Yeah, Queen Victoria said that he was the handsomest man she had ever seen.
No shade on Queen Victoria, but she married her cousin.
So. You are much handsomer than my cousin.
And then my fifth cousin. No, she loved her husband.
Okay, but while he was apparently gone on this trip, the Know Nothings elected him to be, like kind of a seat in these thing, and he didn't. I don't think he would have wanted it if he had known. People. That's the problem back then is people are always electing people to things without them knowing.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause it was always that. This is oh my god. Gee, I hate when this happens. 3 sentences start and then I just don't know what to do with my brain. As I feel like the politics we're starting to get into now, it's less about hey, fellow philosophers and legislators, let's come up with the Declaration of Independence and our legislation and figure out what it is that our country's gonna be. And now we're in, okay, but if Jimmy does this for me, my state will get this. So if we, nominate this guy, he can do this, this, and this for us. And it's this back end dealings and where you got your swing votes and you're trying to whip votes for whatever bill that you want passed for personal reasons. Mm-hmm. Power, corruption.
It seemed like at that time a lot of what people wanted was railroads built in there. Yeah. I guess it was kind of like they were growing and they wanted to grow more than everyone else.
Yep.
Oh, here's some
traveling across the states would be was a killer. It was.
Yeah, it could literally kill.
Yeah, literally.
Especially in the territories. But check this. Also on his Euro trip, he met the Pope. And it says here he carefully weighed the political pros and cons of meeting Pope Pius the Ninth. Is this the guy? This isn't the guy who. No. I thought this was the Hitler Pope.
Oh no. But the Hitler Pope
was 10th, right?
Yeah.
Pope Pius the 10th. So this was the Pius before the Hitler Pope. So he carefully. Hey, I don't want to start any controversies on our podcast. I know. I happen to know there was a Hitler Pope. So with Pius the Ninth, he carefully weighed the political pros and cons of meeting with the Pope. He nearly withdrew from the meeting when he was told that he would have to kneel and kiss the Pope's hand. And to avoid that, Pius remained seated throughout the meeting. What a diplomatic solution.
Oh, nice. So, wait, was Millard Mormon, but then went and saw a Catholic Pope?
I don't know. I don't think he was Mormon. He was... I think he was...
How do we get on the Mormon?
Just because what was his name? Brigham Young. He just elected him something of...
Oh, got it. Sorry.
I'm not sure what his religion was.
Cause I was just confused there. I was like, wait, why were we talking about Mormons there for 2 minutes? I got there. That's fine.
It doesn't... I'm not sure what his religious beliefs were.
He might have just not...
Shared
He
might have not shared them on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of this guy. I'd say he got a bad hand from history. He was trying. I think what in his mind he was trying. If I may speak for him, which I might not be able to, but he it seems to me like he kind of was trying to keep keep the calm and try and walk the line between two increasingly polarized sides.
Just, keep everybody happy without making any true promises either way.
Yeah, and just not trying to start a war, and it seems like he wasn't looked on very favorably after the Civil War because they're like, hey, come on, man, you were on the wrong side of history. Just because he was trying to make it work between two sides that it couldn't work between.
Yep. Yeah, because I feel like you gotta pick one. You can't have both.
Yeah, and I think it was. You
can't all be Hannah Montana.
Yeah, some people have to be Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta accept your inner Miley Cyrus. And
sometimes you have to be Billy Ray Cyrus.
Sometimes.
I just find one thing I do find interesting is just all these kind of parties that didn't take off.
Oh yeah.
There's Like with apparently with the what are they called? I already forgot the names. The Whigs. They broke off into parties. They broke off into the Know Nothings. And then I think some of the northern ones, like the one Quincy Adams was a Whig apparently in his later life, and I think he kind of was sided more with the
North.
Yeah, like the what are they called? The Republican parties with like Lincoln and stuff.
Yeah, because there was also John Quincy Adams was Democratic Republican for the first half, and then switched to the National Republic.
Wasn't he a Federalist? I thought.
I mean, I'm just basing this off of the list.
Oh right. His dad was Federalist.
John Adams' dad was a Federalist, and then it doesn't say it here, but Van Buren was a Democrat. But I think he started out as a Whig originally just because his dad was a Whig.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got into politics, he switched out of it, mostly because of the slave ticket. Because he was like, I don't want to associate I don't agree with the Southern Whigs that are trying to have it expand, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I need to say out loud, I know nothing. Don't quote me.
We could all be wrong. This is not a history podcast.
I'm very much uninformed. This is just two lovable idiots trying to figure it out and find out who their favorite president is. And so far, we're
getting there.
I mean, I found mine so far.
Look at this handsome picture of Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. I think, like, I don't know if I've done this guy justice. What are your...
I find it always hard to do, like, a president who was the vice president kind of got forced into the job, right? It's not like he was prepared to, like, work out his presidency, you know? It kind of sucks for him to, like, I just thought I was going to be vice president, and then all of a sudden I'm running the country type of thing. Like, that's a tough shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
Because it happened with John Tyler, too.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy, at least the precedent had been set, so everyone was like sure he was president at least. With the except with Tyler, it was like, I don't know if you are the president, and he was like, I am. Trust me.
Yeah, trust me. Oh yeah, and he was the one that was Whig, and then
they kicked
ended
him
up
out.
becoming unaffiliated. They kicked him out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if I just will allow me to polish off his life here. He basically, so after like the Know Nothings, he eventually the Civil War started happening, and he would he basically wasn't looked on very favorably after that, but he ended up remarrying to a well-to-do widow. And because he didn't have much money before, he was now kind of set for life.
That's my goal in life.
Find a nice, well-to-do widow.
No, to become a well-to-do widow.
But that means you have to get married first.
Oh shit! No. My dreams dashed.
So basically, he kind of, I think it says he lived in Buffalo again. And then he died.
Buffalo?
He died of a stroke.
Oh, jeez.
But not his first stroke. He died of his second stroke.
Wait. No. Oh, so he had... got it. I mean, I think that's normal. Normally, people don't... Unless it's a really bad stroke, it's usually not until the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Here's like another little interesting thing that I read that just shows how bad of a rap this guy gets. So, after the Lincoln assassination in April 1865, black ink was thrown on Fillmore's house because it was not draped in mourning like others. Fillmore was apparently out of town at the time and put black drapes in the windows once he returned. Although he retained his position as Buffalo's leading citizen and was among those selected to escort the body when Lincoln's funeral train passed through Buffalo, anger remains towards him for his wartime positions. So he never I don't know. It just seems like everyone kind of didn't like him very much after.
Yeah. He was the like a scapegoat, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like lived in the north, and everyone was like traitor.
Wow.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like too bad of a guy.
I mean, depends, right? Like if he was just playing both sides, it's hard.
I'm not saying he's my favorite, but I don't know. I think
no.
history, like apparently, history has him as like historians have him as like the worst president. Apparently,
I don't know. It feels like so far everyone's below average, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess that's compared to like modern presidents or like more recent ones. That's like okay, that's kind of tough to compare them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd have to do it in like quarterly sections.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was looking at this recently, like who are the top ranked presidents, and it's like the top four are the people who are on Mount Rushmore: Washington, Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and Lincoln. Fillmore is ranked as historians and political science as one of the worst presidents of the United States. Fillmore's handling of major political issues such as slavery has led many historians to describe him as weak and inept.
Wow! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Like I think, like from what I read, it just like he was just trying to like create a compromise for two competing sides. But I mean, not like obviously history didn't look favorably upon that.
Yeah, and we talked about that too. I was like, in theory, you'd want a president that does play both sides. You know, that listens to both and isn't like just picking one side and be like, all right, this is my best friend Bill, and my best friend Bill, everything goes kind of thing, right?
Everything goes. Crazy Bill.
Crazy Bill, like whatever he wants, he gets, and it's like, bro.
Turn it up, Bill.
That's how it goes. Pop off, Bill. Ooh, the History Network. Okay. 10 things you should know about Millard Fillmore. The History.com says that.
Is there some way you can turn this into a quiz for me? See if I really know this guy.
What kind of house was Fillmore born in?
A log cabin.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nice.
Wait, do you have a cheat sheet?
No, I'm minimizing my tab. It's because he was born in poverty, and they rebuilt a log cabin in Buffalo in honor to him.
He got his political start as an anti-Mason. Fillmore was elected to the New York State Legislature. I can't speak. Legislature. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyways, in 1828 on the anti-Masonic ticket, which, as its name suggests, strongly opposed Freemasonry. He remained affiliated with that party, which at the time polled well in western New York, upon winning election to the U.S. House of Representatives 4 years later. But he soon cut ties with it to join the Whig Party, and I don't know what that word is, an amalgam of forces opposed to Democratic President Andrew Jackson. As a Whig, Fillmore served 3 terms in the House, lost a race for New York governor, became New York's comptroller,
yep.
And then received a surprise nomination to be Zachary Taylor's running mate in 1848 presidential election.
I never really got, what's with the anti-Masons? We've talked about it before, but... What is so bad about it?
I don't know. But I don't know enough to know. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's ask ChatGT.
Hey, ChatGT. What?
Why was there This is going to put me on a list as I'm Googling this.
Why the Illuminati?
Why the Illuminati? So they were opponents of the Freemasonry, believing that it was a corrupt and elitist secret society with which ruling much of the country in defiance of Republican principles.
Oh, so it was like
many people regarded. Yeah, many people regarded the Masonic organization and its adherents involved in government as corrupt. So, like, it was like a boys' club.
Right.
It's basically like the Freemasons was like a boys' club where, I mean,
I guess it was like
when you're in,
anti-elitist.
yeah, so like they would make their own decisions. They would go meet, and then they would be like, "Hey, Bill, I know you work in the government. Us Freemasons want this to happen. Why don't we make it so?"
And they snap their Freemason fingers and do their Freemason handshake.
Yeah.
Do you know about the Freemason handshake?
I've heard tail. Isn't it when you like
Put your
shake
finger.
and scratch the hand?
Yeah, I think you just like do your middle finger in there.
Yeah. What a sentence that was.
Put your middle finger in there. Okay, that makes sense. I guess it's like an anti-elitist thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
So Freemasonry or Masonry refers to a fraternal organization that traces their origins to the local guilds of stonemasons. At the end of the 13th century, regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interactions with authorities and clients. Modern Freemasonry broadly consists of two main recognition groups. So, one is like they believe in a supreme being. There's no women allowed, and discussion of religion and politics do not take place within the lodge. So you literally just go.
Wait, so they acknowledge a supreme being, but you're not allowed to talk about religion.
Yeah.
I always find
they
that
acknowledge
strange.
it, but they don't talk about it while you're there. So
It's
you
like
literally
Fight
just
Club.
go. Yeah. Insist the following scripture. So, and we talked about this before. My grandfather was a Freemason, and so was my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
In our community, in our town, from what I have been told, and maybe I've been drinking too much Kool-Aid. Maybe I'm,
Maybe you are one of them.
Yes, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But it was usually a place where, like, farmers and, like, local business owners and, would come together and, like, one, it was, like, a social gathering, and two, they could, like, help each other out. So in, like, the times before electricity where you're like, man, I need to put my cows to pasture, but my cousin is sick and I'm 80 and I can't do it anymore. So, like, the community would come together and they would help this family, like, push their cows to pasture type of thing. So, like, they would make those, like, it was like a networking for the community of the men in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I think, is the positive spin on what it could be, where the anti-Masons were like, oh, they're making all these deals and having... Yeah, and they only let certain people into into this, like, group, and they're making these decisions and, like, trying to, like, push the government in certain ways that only benefits them and not the rest of the people. So it's like, it's the hard part.
Mm-hmm. What a strange, yeah. Oh, to be in a club. Should we join a club? An elitist club?
I mean, I don't know if I want to join an elitist club. I've always wanted to have, like, a craft club.
Can you make it elitist though? Like only crafters.
Like I mean, I mean, but if someone wants to come, I don't want to tell them no unless, like, they're an asshole.
Well, what if they're a woman?
So, like, no assholes allowed. Yeah, like I'm saying, both men and women can join this craft club that we're creating. I'm just saying I would invite anybody who would want to come.
Oh, you're already better than the Masons.
That's what I mean. I'll make one just like, why does it have to be elitist?
I don't know. That's part of the lure. That's what makes you feel special is when you're in an elite club of. Because if they let anyone in, it wouldn't be special at all.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. Then it wouldn't be exclusive.
Yeah. It'd mean nothing. All right. What's the next Millard Fillmore hot tip?
Hot off the
Millard Fillmore presses.
Fillmore was one of 5 accidental presidents.
Okay, wait. Let me guess who. Okay, so obviously Zachary Taylor, accidental president. The others probably haven't happened yet, right? Did we have any accidental presidents?
There are 2 here that we haven't talked about yet. The 2 we have talked about.
Who was after Abe Lincoln? Andrew Johnson? Was he an accidental?
Yes.
president?
Okay, so we haven't. We've already talked about one of them. My bad.
Well, yeah.
But yes, Andrew Johnson is one of them.
It's like the vice presidents, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is the fourth? Then?
So John Tyler, who we talked about before, Andrew
Lyndon
Johnson,
B. Johnson.
Chester A. Arthur,
Who?
and General Ford. Chester A. Arthur.
I never heard of this
From
guy.
1865 to 1869.
Wow, this guy looks very
looks as
forgettable.
though- yeah. So he was vice president to Garfield.
How did Garfield die?
I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh my god, I'm so eager to learn. Died.
I must know.
Oh, he's assassinated.
So...
Huh.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So wait,
1,
so
4.
so was Lyndon B. Johnson an accidental president?
I don't know who you're Lyndon?
Lyndon B. Johnson, the guy after JFK.
I guess he, did he run?
I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Let me see.
I guess he got 2 terms. Maybe that just means like an accidental president is someone who was never voted for, because he
Yeah,
did
this,
Lyndon B. Johnson did 2 terms.
yeah, this one was the only other U.S. presidents never elected to the office were John Taylor, Andrew Johnson, Chester A. Arthur, and General Ford. It doesn't mention him, so I guess because he only did a little bit and didn't like do the full term, I think they just did it so they could have another election.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Like no one ever voted for them is, I guess, the thing. Cool. What's the next one? How many are there here?
There's 10.
Wow. And we did 3?
We've done 3, yeah.
Oh, look at you're doing my job for me. This is great.
Yeah, I'm just helping out. This is called teamwork, man. It's teamwork. Fillmore did not have a vice president for obvious reasons.
What? They should have
since
vice
the
presidents.
Here's what it says. So since the Constitution did not originally include a provision for replacing dead or departed vice presidents, the office has been vacant for about 38 of its 225 years. Fillmore, along with Tyler, Johnson, and Arthur, had no second in command for the entirety of their term. The situation is unlikely to repeat itself, however, as the 25th Amendment ratified it in 1967 allows the president to appoint a VP subject to the approval of the U.S. Congress. So in the years past, they just don't have a vice president, but then they're like, you know what? No, that's crazy. What if they just keep dying?
Mm-hmm.
And we need to continuously replace them.
Apparently, the next president, Franklin Pierce, his vice president died while in office, and they just didn't replace him.
Yep.
It's not very.
That's the thing. It's because they're basically following their constitution, right? And they had no. It was like a part of their rule book. They were like, well, nothing's written there, so I guess we don't do anything.
That's very American.
It's like a very classic. Like, well, this page is blank. I guess I'll just walk
TV,
away. Yeah. Let's go watch the Powerball. I'm actually excited to read about Franklin Pierce. He feels.
I
I don't know.
There's something. Okay, so I'd admit, back when I thought that before we switched president spots, I was originally like, okay, well, here's a guy I'll have to do in the future, and I took a little peek at him, and there was one really. I think I've talked to you about it, but there was one thing where he got in a crane trash. Whoa, sorry.
Well, a train?
No, a crane trash.
A crane?
A crane trash. He got in a train crash, and I don't want to spoil your juicy bits, but something happened, and his wife blamed him being president for
for whatever
happened.
Atrocity was.
Yeah, she's like, "This is what you get for running for president," and then she held it against him.
Interesting. Maybe we'll have to have another dramatic reading.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll do another Chat GPT.
He just seems modern, but I think just because he looks younger.
Yeah, he is very young. So he was
young.
18. So he wasn't. He was like in his 40s when he was president.
Yeah, where the others were like in their 50s,
yeah.
which I guess isn't too much, but
Yeah, he's a handsome looking guy.
yeah. He's giving me Colbert vibes.
Yeah, but with like hair. Colbert with hair.
Yeah. Colbert with hair and no glasses.
Yeah. Especially the eyes and the mouth. I can't do. Yeah, all right. What's the next? What's my next tip? Hot tip? Millard tip?
Some of them we've talked about already, so I'm going to skip to 9. Fillmore disagreed with Abraham Lincoln's policies.
Oh, controversial.
Ooh. During the Civil War, Fillmore supported the Union cause, which is the South, right?
He disagreed with them?
Yeah, he disagreed. So yeah, he supported the Union, but he expressed dismay at the emancipation of the slaves and the enlistment of black troops. Did not follow most Northern Whigs into newly formed Republican Party, and publicly opposed Abraham Lincoln's re-election bid in 1864. Upon defeating the rebel army, Fillmore asserted that the North should extend to the Confederacy every act of clemency and kindness in our power. Unsurprisingly, he then backed Andrew Johnson's more mild approach to Reconstruction rather than the so-called radical Republicans.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, in person, he, like, supported the Union, but, like, behind, he's like, you know what? No, I don't.
Like, I think, like, he was, the thing, from what I read, the thing that he supported was not, like, breaking off and being, like, he wanted, like, everyone to still be one country.
Mm-hmm.
But not much other than that.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, let's all just be friends, but let's keep slavery going.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, I know we just had a war about all this, but thoughts?
Yeah, but let's just forget it happened.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, history has not been kind to Millard Fillmore. Almost every time modern historians rank the U.S. presidents in order of greatness, Fillmore's name appears near the bottom of the list. Even the White House official website calls him uninspiring, and in 1988, a Yale history professor quipped that to discuss Millard Fillmore is to overrate him.
just
so
to talk about
him.
Well, that's why I'm trying to fill the hour here.
So should we have skipped?
Yeah.
No.
It's gonna be our lowest rated episode, I probably bet. Okay, I'm looking.
Even last week's was tough because it was his he died so suddenly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm looking at the rankings. Okay, I'm on cspan.org. Historian survey. So this is what historians say are the best presidents. No, I don't want to spoil our podcast. But
yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want outside influences to sway my. Just tell me where here. Tell me where Van Buren is.
Van Buren?
Yeah.
Oh, Dutch. You're not gonna like this.
Oh no.
Okay, wait one sec. It's actually like so low that I can't. Not gonna bother to count it. So one sec. I'll count. Okay, I'll count from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's 11 from the bottom. Van Buren.
Wow.
He's right above Zachary Taylor.
That's all that matters.
He beat Zachary Taylor.
As long as he's above Zachary Taylor. So here's the thing, though. Like, honestly, right now, if I was to make a list of all that we've listed through, he's my favorite. But I do know, once we get into Lincoln and Roosevelt and what was the other one?
The other.
Frick.
I'm surprised Ronald Reagan is above.
I had a name in my head.
Ronald Reagan is above Obama.
Yeah, that's because of his war on drugs.
That was a mistake.
I know, but people think it was good.
No, this.
And people followed him and listened to him basically.
Maybe he was good in that cowboy movie. Wow, James Monroe's actually surprisingly. George Washington is number 2, by the way.
That tracks. I mean, I guess because he basically set it all up.
Yeah.
Who's number 1?
I can't tell you.
You can't say? But you know, why can't I know? Just bleep it out when just bleep out so people don't hear it.
Okay, ready? Beep.
Uh-huh.
Did you get that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I won't say who it is, but I'll say he's probably honest.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh duh. Why did I have to ask?
Okay, wait. I might be spoiling something here, but do you remember my initial favorite president?
Wasn't it one of the Adams?
No, like
Adams?
before we even started this podcast.
Oh, Saxophone Man?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can neither confirm nor deny who I said my favorite was, but he's 2 below John Quincy Adams. He's
interesting.
James Polk is sandwiched between John Quincy Adams and Saxophone Man.
Amazing.
What's interesting is that these things frequently change. Apparently, like the rankings.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially with a lot of stuff that happened during, like the 1800s, where you're they're finding documentation and going back through like
True.
old, I don't know, meeting minutes to find out like what people did.
James Polk is losing popularity over time, but John Quincy Adams is going up. Probably because of this podcast, I'd imagine.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would say that the name John Quincy Adams is a nicer sounding name than James K. Polk.
James Knox Polk. I will, however, say that unfortunately Martin Van Buren is going down in popularity.
Come on, man.
You're gonna have to really beef up his reputation.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt with his face on it.
The Van Buren Boys.
The Van Buren Boys.
Were you telling me about that Seinfeld episode? Yeah. You should make one of those. Yeah. 8 fingers.
Yeah, the Van Buren Boys. Yeah, I'll put his face 3 times, but I'll do it like, what's that artist? Did the soup can?
Warhol.
I'll do a Warhol style. It's like a teal, a pink, and a blue, and it'll just be the Van Buren Boys.
The Van Buren Boys and girls.
My favorite president, the Van Buren Boys. Well, boys like with a Z, boys, so it's like not boys as in like the gender, but like boys as in
when
the
you
slang.
spell boys with a Z, it also means woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll give you a little quiz here. Who do you think ranked higher?
Okay.
Donald Trump or William Henry Harrison?
I feel like Trump, just because William Henry Harrison only served for a month.
You think Trump is ranked higher?
Yeah.
Wrong.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like...
Trump is the 4th worst
president. I knew
president.
Trump didn't do a lot, but I was like, at least he was there for the 4 years and not a month.
Well, some men can do things enough in a month, then some men can do in 4 years.
That's
right above Trump is Millard Fillmore, John Tyler, and then William Henry Harrison, and then Donald Trump.
Wow.
But interestingly enough, spoilers for next week, right below Donald Trump is Franklin Pierce. We're in for a banger of episode next week.
We're in for a banger. I did quickly also look at his vice president that I'm going to do some extra research on as well, which is William R. King, who apparently had a rumored homosexual relationship with James Buchanan, who was the president after.
Now that is spicy.
But historians kind of battle each other on it because they called them... something Nancy? What did it say? I did it very quickly. They called the Vice President William King was always referred to as Miss Nancy. So historians were like, it was a derogatory term for him being a homosexual. But then they were like, no, it was a fairly common designation for people who wore clean and like good outfits. But it's like, I don't know.
Still checks out.
Still checks out. I mean, I would like to believe that because I think that'd be an amazing thing that they're in a.
It would have been so much
more
better
next time.
if he was his vice president though.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Oh man, this could be an interesting week next week then. We got a romance.
Yeah, and I have more time.
Perhaps we could do another screenplay of fan fiction.
It'll be just for the Patreons, though. It'll be an exclusive content behind a paid.
Yeah, we don't want to get censored.
Yeah.
Because it will be steamy, I'll tell you that. I also am much better at making AI art now, so look out. I could generate some nice art for us, some nice thumbnails.
Perfect. Well,
anyways,
Deep Throat is Millard Millard Fillmore your favorite president?
I like that he looks like Alec Baldwin.
Okay,
I don't know.
Points for that. Points for that.
I think he's right below John Adams because he looks like Alec Baldwin.
Cool.
The face of a murderer.
The face of a murderer. R.I.P. Millard Fillmore. R.I.P. Alec Baldwin.
Oh, he's not dead yet.
No, he's not. But I meant more his career.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if he does anything more.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch this Russ movie, see if it's any good. Anyways, a pleasure as always. Rum pum pum, lum tum tum.
Rum pum pum pum.
I'm just workshopping a new catchphrase. Yeah, we'll see if it sticks.
Catchphrase.
All right.
Thank you for visiting the Museum of Natural History.
This is Millard Fillmore, and I'm the fourth worst president ever. Sorry, eighth.
Sorry.
I'm the seventh worst president ever. I think we talked enough to give our theme song enough.
A little leeway. It only trails off. All right, I'm hitting.
Goodbye.